Okay, it's really late and I'm swanning about in my kimono and I have my little knitting neck light on and I'm working on finishing knitting this vest that's taking me forever. I just had to undo one entire shoulder because I thought that it was too wide and now I'm having to rework it. A partial frog, if you will. I wanted to play a portion of Zohran Mamdani's victory speech from earlier this evening, because there were a couple of things that he said that just really, first of all, the whole speech was it's a really good speech. You should go find it and watch the whole thing. But a couple of things he said just really resonated with me. Now, I'm not a member of the DSA. But here in Oregon, if somebody is running for office and they are a member of the DSA or alternately Working Families Party, I very much support WFP. I'm going to pay attention to them. I would say that a lot of my political ideals and the way that I think that they can be enacted in the United States of America aligns very much with a lot of things that the DSA stands for, particularly as a permaculture person whose ethics are earth care, people care, and fair share. Thinks that we need an America for working class people. Somebody who made Trump's list for being a staunch anti-capitalist. I actually like to think of myself as a post-capitalist, but I understand that we are living in late-stage capitalism, and so anti-capitalist is probably more appropriate for the moment. But gosh, when you see people like Zohran Mamdani get elected, you can start to think like, oh, post-capitalist. That could be a future that we could have. An America where we finally, for once, focus on people over profit. We organize our society for the betterment of the people who live here, work here, raise our families here, where we focus on community over corporations. Yeah, we could have that. Anyway, okay, let me play this little clip.
For as long as we can remember, the working people of New York have been told by the wealthy and the well-connected that power does not belong in their hands. Fingers bruised from lifting boxes on the warehouse floor, palms calloused from delivery bike handlebars, knuckles scarred with kitchen burns. These are not hands that have been allowed to hold power. And yet, over the last 12 months, you have dared to reach for something greater. Tonight, against all odds, we have grasped it. The future is in our hands. My friends, we have toppled a political dynasty.
It's pretty fucking good, y'all. It's pretty good. We deserve an America of, by, and for the people. For too long, this country has been controlled by the super wealthy, by corporations, by billionaires, to our detriment, to the detriment of our quality of life, to the detriment of our liberty. What we are experiencing in Donald Trump's America is just the logical culmination. It's the final boss of capitalism. It's the final boss of the oligarchy, doing what it can to squeeze blood out of the turnip of the American people. Okay, that was a little clumsy, but it's 10:30 at night. You know what I mean? I think it can be easy to look back on the struggles of this nation and to look back on how hard the super rich have worked to manipulate things behind the scenes, especially since Ronald Reagan, how hard they have worked to erode democracy, consolidate their wealth and power, exploit the working class, make it easier for them to exploit us, make it easier for them to inflict suffering upon us so that we can be controlled, so that we can be coerced, so that they can take more of what is ours. And it can be hard when we are living in a moment in history where it seems like the oligarchy is so incredibly empowered, and where it feels like the fascists are just going to steamroll their way through. Well, they're trying to make you think that they can, right? They're trying to pull one over on you. They're gaslighting you. They're manipulating the shit out of you. They want you to think they're all big and all powerful, but they're not. I guess I just really want to remind folks that feelings are not facts. So many people have had their emotions just turn on a dime today. I've seen so many posts on social media this evening that are like, oh my gosh, I have hope for the first time. Or I'm on cloud nine. I'm feeling fantastic. And I'm like, okay, that's awesome. Sit with that feeling. Like, we worked really hard to have all of the victories that we had tonight. I know it's a teeny tiny thing, but here in Portland, the parks levy passed. And I posted on Blue Sky a little bit ago, like, I've never been so happy to see my property taxes go up. My neighbors all voted to support our parks. We all here in Portland understand collectively the value of the commons, and we were all willing to see our property taxes go up in order to protect our shared space, our third space that is our parks. And it feels really good when we come together and we exercise our power as the American people to do good, to build a better society. But at the same time, we have to keep working to do that, even when it doesn't feel like we're moving in the right direction, even when it doesn't feel good, even when we don't feel victorious all of the time. Because we were still on the same path yesterday. We were still on the same path 2 weeks ago to combat what Donald Trump is doing, to combat the oligarchs, to combat the fascists. We were still taking those same steps. We were still organizing the same way, even when it didn't feel the same. All that's different now is that we know the election results, and so our feelings have shifted. But the foundations that were being laid, the work that was being done, it was still the same. So we have to trust in the work that we're doing, that when we desire an America that works for working class people, when we believe and we invest in the potential for us to have an America that isn't beholden to the super rich, isn't beholden to fascism, that like we can actually reach out and we can get that. Our power as the American people still exists. It has always existed. It is just whether or not we choose to exercise it. And I think for too many years, a lot of us were content to, I don't want to say, sorry for my knitting light, y'all. I don't want to say a lot of people were hopeless. I think a lot of people were complacent. A lot of people who had a kind of okay, comfortable lifestyle bought into kind of neoliberalism, bought into the centrist politics that were so prevalent. And then a lot of other people were just apathetic, like, well, the billionaires are there. They're going to keep fucking us and exploiting us, and nothing we can do about it. Neither of those things were true. We were just abdicating our own power. And now we're learning to reclaim it, right? Now that we face the government trying to take away our rights, we're like, oh shit, we got to exercise those rights. We have to exercise our power collectively. And when we do, the power of the people is greater than the people in power. We are learning to wield our power with our scarred, calloused, rough hands, with our hands that work so hard to provide for our families. We get to take those hands and we get to build something greater as a nation. So I was really encouraged by Zohran's acceptance speech. I was really encouraged by so many Americans all over the country who showed up to vote and said, yeah, I'm going to reclaim my power. I'm going to exercise that power. This can't be the end, right? This is, once again, right, when the high that you're riding tonight starts to fade, don't tip back into believing that all hope is lost or that we can't actually make progress. No, you have to keep fighting for it. You have to keep exercising your power. You have to keep organizing with other folks so that we can exercise that power together. We got to build those big, giant muscles and flex them together as working class people. Please understand that feelings are not facts. We have to keep taking those actions, even when it doesn't feel like we're making progress, even when we can't see the forest for the trees, even when it feels like the struggle is really difficult. Your perception can be warped, especially when you're living under a would-be authoritarian who is attempting to implement fascism and is engaged in psychological warfare against you. Your perception can get really warped. Your feelings can be really manipulated. But it is the organizing that we do together. It is our refusal to obey. It is our refusal to cede our position. It is our refusal to relinquish our power as the American people and our willingness to engage in the work of organizing together. That's going to get us out of this. Voting, one important element, a determination to keep moving forward, to keep organizing, keep engaging in mutual aid, keep engaging in all of the kinds of direct actions, boycotts, protests, etc., that we need to be doing, even when it doesn't feel as awesome as it feels right now, or as awesome as you felt on No King's Day too. Even when we're tired, even when we have setbacks, we continue to push forward. We can work together to build the America that we all deserve, to get justice for what is happening now, and to create an America of, by, and for the people, maybe for the first time ever. Okay, back to happy knitting for me.